Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new series. In this one, I'm going to be showing you how to get started with setting up professions on your characters to actually make gold with them. So what we've actually done, we're on a brand new server and we've got a few characters that we're going to set up the professions with. So we're going to use this one right here. Now we're going to have two professions on each character. So the first character we're going to be using is Buffy Craft. In this one, we're going to have leatherworking and tailoring. Then Buffy, the paladin, we're going to have blacksmith and engineering. And then Buffy Gold, which is the evoker, it's going to have jewel crafting and what was the other one? Alchemy on this guy. And then on the last one, this priest right here, it's going to be enchanting and inscription. So these four characters right here are going to have 8 professions that we're going to be making gold with. Now we're mainly going to be doing two different styles of crafting to actually make the gold. We're going to be doing obviously Dragonflight content, and we're also going to be doing old world content. Now with the old world content, it'll be mainly things like transmog pieces and mounts and other cool things that still sell occasionally from the old world with the professions. But we are going to set up Dragonflight professions and also the old world. Our goal is to max them all out and get the recipes for all of them. So the goal of this series is to have all 4 of these characters fully maxed out in their professions with all the recipes learnt and have them set up with TSM groups and operations, so we can pretty much run them on autopilot by just logging on, simply clicking one button, restocking everything, and then selling it off. So that is the main goal for this little challenge series, whatever you want to call it. If you are interested in starting professions to actually make gold with, this would be a great series to follow along with. You could probably do the same and do exactly what I'm doing. Now we're not going to invest much gold whatsoever into these 4 characters, so you don't have to worry about having a big gold to start off with. The professions are actually pretty cheap now. The Dragonflight ones have gotten a lot cheaper since the release of Dragonflight, and you can definitely max them out super cheap and very quick at the moment. Then the open world stuff is still about the same price. However, you can do it fairly cheap with all the professions that we're actually going to be doing. Now I have a TSM groups set up already, a few just of the basic ones for Dragonflight and also a few of the basic ones for the old world content, and I'll be showing you those. But if you want to get them in depth, you can find them inside of my gold making guide for retail. Now this will have a full in-depth guide on how to actually do crafted transmogs, and also will have the groups and operations for the Dragonflight basic setup to actually get started with crafting. But anyways guys, let's start off this challenge. Alright, so first of all, we obviously have to learn all the new professions. So first of all, we're on Buffy Craft, and we're going to get leatherworking and tailoring on this guy. So let's go ahead, learn that. Perfect. Get the Dragonflight one also. Head over to the tailor trainer, so right here, and let's also learn this right here. So I like doing this, pairing these two together, these two professions, mainly because I like to have these paired together and then also blacksmithing and engineering paired together, mainly for the old world profession crafting stuff. They seem to go together really well in my personal opinion. Next up we have Buffy the Paladin, which we're going to be doing blacksmithing and engineering. And we have blacksmithing and also engineering learn on this guy. So let's move on and get on the next character. Alrighty, so next up is Buffy Gold. We're getting alchemy, and we're also getting what else were we going to get on this guy? That is right, alchemy and jewel crafting. So let's learn those. And here we have jewel crafting. Let's go ahead and learn that. And the Dragon Eyes one. Perfect. One more character. Next up is our enchanter and our inscription. So let's go ahead and get the Dragon Eyes inscription. We've already got the enchanting for Dragonflight already learnt. Right, so that is all the professions on all the characters pretty much learnt. Now what we have to do is go ahead and learn a whole heap of recipes in all of them, and we also need to max them out. So max them out in the skill level. So for an example, we need to get 100 for the Dragonflight profession, and then we'll also do the old world content. We'll fill out all of those and skill those and level all those all up completely, and then we'll focus on buying a whole heap of recipes off the auction house, and then we'll actually start also farming recipes that drop from certain things throughout the game. Alright, so there's two main add-ons that we're going to be using throughout this challenge, and that I recommend using if you're going to be doing any sort of crafting. And the two add-ons are actually Craft Sim. So this is a cool one. It's basically more for crafting Dragonflight things, and it takes into consideration all the different ranks and all the different multi crafts and resources that you're actually going to be saving. So it calculates all that, and you can find out how much you're actually making from the Dragonflight stuff. And then the other add-on that I recommend using is TSM Trade Skill Master, just so you know the prices of everything. This is a must-have, so you know the proper prices of all the materials and the items that you're going to be making. Okay, so the first step for the challenge is that we need to send over some gold to all of the professionals to actually level up their professions. So I think we'll send over 100k to each of the alts that we're going to be doing the new professions on. Alrighty, so we just finished sending over the 100k's to the 4 alts, as you can see right down here in the chat box. 100k to Buffy Craft, Buffy Gold, and Buffy. Right, so they should be all set up. We'll use the gold to buy recipes, level up the crafts, and also we'll have to get bags on all the characters and sort out the banks, so we can also use them to store materials and stuff that we need to store. Alright, so we've got the gold. Now we're just going to get out the bags. We've got 4 bags, 4 normal bags anyways. Let's throw these all in, and then what we're going to do now is also do the same on all characters. We'll actually get some bags for the bank. We'll buy the bank slots and the second bank thing for the rest for the materials. Alright, so we'll do that on all 4 characters, and we'll sort them all out. Perfect. That is the blacksmith and engineering done. We've got this set up, we've got bags, we've got the 100k, so let's do it to the next character. The Voker, ready to go. It's got alchemy and also jewel crafting. And finally our enchanter and our inscriptioner. So they're all sorted, they've all got bags with the 100k. We need to give them all profession equipment next. So we'll get that right off the auction house. We'll get them all equipment. Then the first goal will be to get all of these to 100, well, just to level up our Dragonflight profession. Preferably max out the skill. That'll be the main first goal. So what we'll do is we'll sort out the equipment, and then I'll start leveling each of those up as far as we can get at this current time. We'll level them all up and we'll go from there. Okay, so the first one that we sorted out is is enchanting. And we've got it to, after this we should be about 64 or 63, I believe. 63. So we're going to craft these few things right here, and this is about how high we need it to actually start making a bit of gold with it. But we're going to keep leveling them up. We're also going to do the old world skill. They're super quick to level up for these, so we'll do that real quick next on this guy. Oh, also we got the crafting gear, so let's just check it out. We need to go back to the WoW one. As you can see right here, we just got a couple of the basic ones, nothing too fancy. And now another thing, this is how craft sim works. It will actually show you how much profit there is for each rank that you can make. It also just has a profit down here. So this is really handy for when you're doing Dragonflight stuff. Not so much when you're doing the old world stuff, but still very good add-on, and that is Craft Sim. Alrighty, so now we have the other enchanting all completed and leveled out. So let's have a look at it right here and I'll just show you. So for classic enchanting, it's 300 out of 300. Cataclysm 75 out of 75. Mr. Pandaria 75. Shadowlands 115 out of 115. Dragon Isles we're at 62, and we'll keep on maxing this out over time, but we're looking pretty good so far. So this character, it still needs a few more of the expansions, and also we need to learn a whole heap of the recipes. So the easiest way to start learning the recipes will be to buy them off the auction house, and then simply learn them, and then we can start going out and farming the ones that you can't actually buy. Now when you're going out looking for the recipes, there are a whole heap of really in-depth good guides that will actually show you every single recipe there is for that profession, and where to actually get the recipe and how to get it. So I'll be following one of them to actually find all the recipes and learn absolutely every single craft for each profession. Alright, so I'll do this for the next character. We have to do it on this character for inscription, but then we'll do it for all the professions, and we'll basically max out the old world, and we'll get Dragonflight skill as high up as possible before we have to do too much farming or grinding, just pretty much everything that we can buy to. And so we'll do that next. We'll max out the skill for all the professions, and then we'll see what recipes we can find on the auction house for super cheap that is worth buying to actually start crafting. Another thing that I'll have to be working on is basically just tidying up the TSM groups. Now you can actually make your own profession TSM groups with TSM, so automatically put all the items that you've actually already learnt into a group for you, ready to go, or you can kind of customize them yourself and have them set up how you want to. So there's a whole heap of different ways you can do this with TSM. However, if you want to get hold of this one, it's just a basic one for the Dragonflight professions for all of them. If you'd like to get that, it's all inside of my gold making guide, and it teaches you also how to actually make the groups step by step by yourself just using TSM, and it will basically make groups for each profession, and it will make a group of all the items that you've actually learned the recipes for and you can craft, and then you can just make the operations yourself and play around with the numbers. But also the numbers for the operations, which are in here, they're also inside of the gold making guide if you want to check that out, and it'll be the first link down below in the description box. But anyways, I think what we're up to is what we were doing, inscription now. Now while I am leveling up the professions, I highly recommend using this site. It's got a really good shopping list to actually level the professions. Now this is for Dragonflight. It also does the old world professions too, but it's just helps you out a lot. It's called wowprofessions.com. super good. It will tell you to buy 35 rousing air, 85 rousing frost, and it'll tell you everything you need and how far it will actually get you. So you can simply buy all the materials, get everything that you need, and then you simply just craft it, and you can do it within a couple of minutes, like 5-10 minutes, and you'll have it all sorted. It's a really good way to do it, and it makes it super easy, especially once you get to around 65 plus. It'll tell you where to actually get the recipes, so you can keep on learning new recipes and getting more skill by actually doing so. Awesome, so we are 65 now in Dragon Isles Inscription, which is perfect. So this fella's pretty much nearly set up, the basic setup for the Dragonflight 2 professions, enchanting and inscription. So we're looking really good here. Oh, and we only spent about 45k to actually do this, and we've got a whole heap of recipes, a whole heap of materials left over that we can use in the future or sell them off. Okay, so we now have inscription for Dragon Isles at 65. We also just leveled up classic all the way to 300, and then also Kata up to 75. So we've got these three pretty much maxed out to where we want them to be. I wonder if the old glyphs are making any gold. Let's have a little look. Here's the glyphs right here. So that would be very interesting just to see if any of these are making a profit, which it doesn't look like they are. Any of these ones. Let's check out the cataclysmic. So this one is. I remember back in the day when these used to be so good for gold making, back in like Mr. Pandaria, I think it was around there. And you'd be able to like sell these for so much gold, and you'd be able to get so many sales pretty much when they first came out, sort of thing. Some of the weapons have a good profit margin. Anyways, so we've pretty much got these characters sorted. Now we're going to go to the next 3 characters, max them out and get them ready to actually start doing their professions. So next up is, alrighty, so now it is time to sort out the leatherworking and also the tailoring. So I think we're at 1 on both of these. 1 for Dragon Isles. What are we for classic? 1. Pretty sure we're 1 for this also. Yep. So we're gonna level up both of these, get them maxed out. Well, we're gonna get Dragon Isles to 65, and then we'll also get classic probably to 300, or maybe we'll just focus on the Dragon Isles ones for now, and we'll get all the characters done, and then we can come back and do all the classic. The classic just takes a bit longer. So I think we'll do that, we'll come back. But first of all, let's do the Dragon Isles, tailoring and leatherworking. Okay, so leatherworking is going to be extremely cheap, about 2k to get it up to 65, which is probably one of the cheapest professions. Tailoring will be cheap also actually. So to get leatherworking and tailoring, you don't need much investment at the start whatsoever. If you want to start new characters for crafting, or if you're beginning crafting for the first time, maybe these 2 are really good to start off with. They're just very cheap and easy to max out your skill pretty much. We also need to get some tools, so let's go down to professions, let's go to leatherworking, and let's get the highest item level ones of these. So let's get that, 1 of each. Let's get 1 of those. They're just beginner ones for us, so we don't have to have it perfect. And then there's also 1 more that we need to buy. So this one right here. Alright, sorted. Alright, perfect. So we finished off with leatherworking. We got it to 65 in Dragon Isles, so that is where we want it for now. And we only spent probably just under 10k, so super cheap to actually sort that out, and it is ready to go. So the next thing that we're going to work on is the tailoring. We need to get that from 1 up to 65. Perfect, we're at 65 tailoring. We got a whole heap of materials still. We spent probably about, what's that, about 7k roughly, around there. And that was super fast to actually level up. We brought extra ingredients, so really it was probably about 5k also. But awesome, we've got this character got its professions set up, ready to go. Next up is blacksmithing and engineering. So we want to max these out. We'll get them to 65, both for Dragon Isles. That is the next goal. Perfect. We're at 65 for Dragon Isles blacksmithing. So that is sorted. Now we've got to do the engineering. Now that cost a little bit more. We're close to like the 10k mark. We do have a lot of materials left over. Well, not too many, but we have some decent amount of ores left over. Probably like 3k worth there. Also these. But anyways, let's move on to the next profession, which is engineering. Alright, so engineering shouldn't cost much whatsoever. Pretty sure this is all we need to get to 65. And there we have it, 65 in engineering. So we've got the blacksmithing and also the engineering to 65 for Dragon Isles, which is awesome. Now these two cost the actual most to level up to 65. As you can see, we're down to 65k at the moment. However, we do have a decent amount of leftover materials that we could probably sell, and some things that we made that were worth a little decent amount. But anyways, that is this character done. So we've got one more character, I believe. Here is everything we need for alchemy. We got the tools, the equipment, and also the materials to get to 65. Alright, so we've got alchemy to 65. So jewel crafting is extremely cheap to actually just skill it up to 65 anyways. Super cheap, less than 1,500 gold, very cheap. Now the most expensive was alchemy. We spent about like 30k I believe. We got heaps of leftover recipes, ingredients though, as you can see. And we're 65 in jewel crafting. So that means we've got all the professions up to 65 in Dragon Isles. A few of them have got some of the classic skills done up. For the other expansions, we still need to sort out all the other expansions for all the professions, but we can do that over time. Now with the old world profession stuff from the other expansions, a lot of the transmogs from blacksmithing, leatherworking and tailoring sell extremely well. So we do want to make sure we're capitalizing on that, and we have that set up. For quick turnover, we're probably going to be looking at the Dragon Isles crafts and see what we can make money with there. Okay, so I'll teach you a little bit about TSM and how we're going to be doing this. So TSM is Trade Skilled Master. It's an add-on that I highly recommend doing for any sort of crafting, any gold making in the game actually. So what we're using, we've got some crafting groups that we've set up. So we've got a lot of them right here. Now these are all just for Dragonflight crafts for all the professions, for the basic blue gear, the PvP gear, the profession tools, everything like that is all inside this basic group right here. And we have operations for that also. And then what we're going to be doing here, we can basically make our own new groups using TSM. So I'll show you how we do that. If we want to make one for leatherworking, what we do is we come over to the leatherworking thing, we go to TSM, and now once we're here, as you can see, we want to create them new groups. So what we'll do is come to this spot right here, and it says create profession groups. What you would do here is you would simply click on this, and as you can see, it makes a group with the items and then a group with the materials. So now if we go back over to groups, we'll actually have leatherworking set up right here. So as you can see, it's got the items that you can actually craft, and then it's got the materials in the material thing. Now the material tab isn't as important, you can come along and delete that, but once you make these new groups, they've obviously got no operations set up to them, so you will have to connect operations. Now you can do whatever you like for operations. I'll show you what I'm going to be using for this sort of stuff. Alright, so we've got a basic group right here that we've just made. So this is what it looks like. Very simple. The post cap is 3. Now we're going to be using this mainly for the Dragonflight professions that we're crafting with right here. We're probably going to start off with the PvP gear, and we'll see how that's going on this specific realm. But anyways, the operations we're mainly going to be using, we will be using all different ones throughout the different groups, but a basic one to start off with. And you can find this more in depth inside of my gold making guide, which will be the first link down below in the description box. It's a guide that will teach you all about making gold in all different ways in the game. But anyways, this is the actual operations we're going to be using for the group that we just created. So the minimum price, 115 15% of crafting, and then we have it set to do not post if it's under the minimum, so we'll just stay in inventory and we can post when it's at a profitable price. The maximum price, 500% crafting, and the normal price 300%. So basically in between 115% crafting and 500% crafting, it will undercut people there. If it's lower than 115, it won't post, and if it's higher than 500, it will post for the 500%. Now this is going off crafting costs, so another thing I recommend doing is actually coming over here, heading over to crafting and changing these sources right here to what I have on the screen right now. So as you can see, you want to have it set up like this to DB recent, and then this one has 0.95 at the end. Now this just means it will take into consideration the 5% auction house fee that you have to pay when you sell an item. So this will make you make an extra 5% on all the profits basically, and it will keep that in mind when you're actually looking for the deals to recraft, and it will be spot on accurate. You won't be missing a 5% for the auction house fees with the numbers that you see. Alright, so we just created the new group. So what we want to do is for this right here, we want to connect it to the new group. So it was leatherworking, and we want to do it items, not materials, but items. So we can select both of those, and then we want to select the items, not the materials. And now for materials, I also have a group right here which is called do not sell, and it basically won't allow you to sell the materials, so you can set that up for the materials, or you can just not click it when you are posting. Very, very simple. So now we're set up pretty much. We've got our groups, the new group for leatherworking right here, as you can see. Perfect. Okay, so we'll also set one of those up for tailoring. So there we go, it's created it. If we go over to our groups, we should be able to see it here. It might be down the bottom because it starts with the T. Yep, tailoring. We've got the items here. Alright, perfect. So what we want to do is obviously connect that thing that we just made, the operation. So let's head over to this right here, and let's also add the tailoring and remove the materials. We'll add our blacksmithing one that we didn't add before, and our inscription. We'll just take off the materials of both of those. So that is all added, and that's the percent we're going to be using. Alright, so now to make sure our groups are working, we'll just head over to into tailoring. Let's open that up, and let's click on restock groups. Now let's select the two groups that we just created, so this one right here, this one right here, and let's just check, and yep, that's working all perfectly. Alright, so now what we're going to actually make, we'll start this person off just so we can have some crafts up on the auction house while we work on the other characters. We need to get all the professions from the last expansions leveled up, but while we're doing that, I think we're going to start off with some of the PvP crafted gear. I think that would be a good goal to set up first, and we'll get all the professions going so we have all the PvP crafted gear up on the auction house. Right, so we've obviously got the Crimson, that was the Season 1 gear, that goes up to 398. And then we also have the Obsidian, that is a new one, which goes up in PvP to 424. So we're going to be doing the Obsidian for now. So let's start learning them, I guess. So we're sitting at 87k at the moment. Alright, so let's learn this up, make sure it's all good. Perfect. Alright, so I think we're going to buy the Crimson, or the Crimson ones, and also the Obsidian ones. Let's go ahead and buy up all these, and we'll learn them all up, and we'll see if any of them are making a profit. Now when you're searching for recipes, a good tip, you can select both these. So usable only and uncollected only, and what that would do is only show the ones that you have not already learnt and that you can actually use, so you can go through and then buy them up. Very very good way to actually do it. Very simple. Alright, we've finished buying all the recipes. Let's grab those out and learn all of these. So we should have a whole heap of them. Or the crimson and also the obsidian PvP crafted gear. So pretty much all the recipes for both of those in leatherworking. So what we'll do is we'll learn all of these. I think there's still more. Alright, let's learn all the new recipes. Alright, perfect. So we've learned all the PvP for leatherworking. Let's go down and we can have a look right here. So this is the gear that we would be crafting. It goes up to 424. The obsidian gear, then you got the crimson gear. So there are a few here that are making a bit of profit. Let's have a look at them in Craft Sim. So let's head over here. Obsidian. Oh, this one's making about 3k, another 3k, 1k, 189 gold. So they're all making a decent amount of profit actually, except this one right here and that one. Same with that one. It's only making 138. So a few of them are making a decent amount of profit. Any of the crimson, yeah, they are too also. Alright, very nice. So I think we're going to pretty much do that on the leatherworker, tailoring, blacksmithing, in all the professions. Pretty much we're going to learn the PvP recipes, just the cheap and easy ones that you get off the auction house. But I think for this episode, this is where we're going to end it right now, and then we'll continue buying the recipes in the next episode, and we'll also be leveling up the old expansion professions and maxing those out to do some old world, old profession crafting also. If you want to learn more about making gold in World of Warcraft, you can check out my retail gold making guide. It will teach you how to make gold in a whole heap of different ways, from farming to craftings even in there, crafted transmog. Absolutely everything you can think of is inside of that guide. It's basically a guide that I've made, and if you buy the copy once, you'll have future updates for a lifetime completely for free. So as soon as an update goes into it, you'll get emailed the update and you can get the new free version completely for free, and that'll be the first link down below in the description box. And also there will be a link to this series where you can watch them one after another, and that'll be in the link in the description box and down below. But anyways guys, until the next episode, take care.